So what brought you to Austin?
Live music.
Okay.
So when I was in Portland, so I grew up like west of Seattle, and at a certain point, I had some buddies down here. I just saw like it wasn't playing for one artist; it was playing for a ton of artists, and just an abundance of opportunities to play out and get a lot of reps in. And I visited a couple times, and I think like a key thing for me, I remember like being outside my friend's gig one time, and there was like a pack of like 20 somethings, and they're like, "Oh, this bar is live music. Let's go in." And that has never happened in Seattle.
Do you need to use the bathroom? What was that?
I don't use that.
Okay. You can use that mic to talk.
Sick.
What's up, brother?
Not much, man. How are you? Actually, maybe a ton. I don't know.
I am disappointed. I got some bad news about a job that I was really excited about tonight, and they replaced me.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It was for a job at Creek in the Cave. It was for like $150, and I brought like all my I was going to bring all my gear, and they're like last minute, "No, you're not videoing tonight."
That sucks. Have you worked for them before?
Oh yeah, I worked at the Creek plenty of times before, but for whatever reason, I think they're trying a new show with a pretty big comedian, and that's part of the reason why I was so excited.
Oh yeah.
And then it just got yanked right out from under me.
Shit.
So how do you deal with disappointment, Greg? Drinking?
Yeah, dude, that's one way.
There's some beverages there. It's a kind of pick your own adventure if you want.
Yeah. Probably choose both adventures. How do I deal with disappointment?
Yeah, we're starting off deep.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure you've experienced something to that.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. And plenty of times it's disappointment about things you think you could have controlled, especially in these sorts of like independent contractor sorts of situations where it's just like nobody sees the time you're putting in to refine your craft and you think you can control everything.
Yep.
But you can't.
Nope.
And there are a million reasons why you didn't get the call on the Creek in the Cave thing, or why I didn't get whatever call on anything. And so many of them are out of your control. So typically I just try to like practice. That's about it.
Yeah, but
I'll go through periods of being just like pissed, but still believe I can brute force my way out of it.
Yeah. You feel like you can just, and to your point, like just play your way to perfection and have this reputation or resume of like, look at everything that I've done. And yet that should be enough to make you confident enough to hire me. But then all of a sudden they're like, nope, whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a tough L for me today. I'm like, it literally just happened 30 minutes ago.
Sorry, dude. Sorry.
I was like prepping all the gear. I'm like, all right, I'm going to be fucking stressed. Well, to turn the page on that, it's like, I don't have to be stressed about bringing all my gear to the Creek in the Cave. I don't have to worry about getting stabbed by a homeless person outside of Creek in the Cave. I don't have to deal with parking. So like, that's good, right?
Yeah. You just have to look at it all as an opportunity.
I can stay here and work on other projects.
Yeah.
And but it was only $150, but still that's a good chunk of change for just pressing record.
Especially if you're hyped to do it.
Yeah.
That's like being hyped to do it and thinking you're being compensated well.
I was so excited.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, they could have probably paid me like $50. I'd have been like, yeah, okay, I'll still do it.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But anyways, I digress. What's new? What'd you do today?
Let's see.
Today's Wednesday.
Yeah, today's Wednesday.
And you did?
I've gone through parts of today thinking today is Thursday. I think today is Thursday.
Is it Thursday?
Yeah, dude, it's Thursday.
It is Thursday.
But
all right, I'm just going to have beer.
Yeah.
Okay, what did you do today on Thursday?
Okay, so I did day job stuff. And then I did project management stuff during the day.
Okay. What's the day job?
I do project management for a company in Portland, Oregon, where I used to live.
Dude.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Where I used to be a full-time test engineer for them. They do, like big rigs on the highway.
Yeah.
Yeah, so all sorts of medium to heavy duty trucking.
Okay.
I used to work on their early series production electric truck project, and now I just do project management remotely for the test department.
Wow.
So a bunch of corporate stuff.
That is wildly fascinating. Do you think it's fascinating?
No,
Or it's just
I do not.
it's just a job to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, but I've been working with everybody there for forever, and I'm glad I put the time in, like, on site, and they trust me enough to be a remote contractor and allowed me to move out here.
Yeah. Were there any, like, were they kind of worried of like, oh, we don't want you to go to Austin. We think we want you to stay here.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I kind of just told him I was going to go, and I got the remote job. I told my manager at the time that I was going to go, and it's worked out since. I think I've developed enough trust with everybody that I work with, and the company is so big that, like, while people do want to say, hey, like, you need to be on site for this meeting or that kind of stuff, but, like, somebody or some percentage of people will, like, never be on site for every meeting for whatever reason, or even just the fact that, like, the campus is so big that people are in different buildings and, like, hey, it's a pain in the ass to, like, I can't, like, be in a meeting every hour if I have to go to a different building every time. Yeah.
So what brought you to Austin?
Live music.
Okay.
So when I was in Portland, so I grew up, like, west of Seattle.
Right.
I was driving up to play for a country artist to Seattle. Like,
Okay.
pretty much
Country artists in Seattle.
Yeah.
Seattle's not very known for
it was like
its country music.
rock. You wouldn't think so, but if you get outside of, like, Seattle, like King County,
Okay.
gets a little more backwoods pretty quick.
Really?
Yeah.
No idea. Okay.
Yeah. Most of the voters are in King County, so you're not gonna, like, see it on the news. Yeah. So I was driving up, like, every weekend, Portland to Seattle, or wherever in Washington, to play. And at a certain point, I had some buddies down here. I just saw, like, it wasn't playing for one artist. It was, playing for a ton of artists, and just an abundance of opportunities to play out and get a lot of reps in. And I visited a couple times, and I think, like, a key thing for me, I remember, like, being outside my friend's gig one time, and there was, like, a pack of, like, 20 somethings, and they're like, oh, this bar is live music, let's go in. And that has never happened in Seattle.
Really?
Maybe in the last, like, 20 years. I've never seen, like, people seek live music out in Seattle.
Okay.
Or like an original show for sure, but just as far as, like, your average, like, bar gig.
Got it. Okay.
It is so rare, dude.
Now that you
or let's say younger people. Let me constrain it. Yeah.
Now that you pointed out, because I was just in Seattle, and Ruthie Kraft and Vincent Antone were in there. Were there the same weekend. Okay, let me back up. I was actually going there because I love the Pacific Northwest. There's this allure there that I really love about it. And so anytime I get an opportunity to go to the Pacific Northwest, whether it be Portland or Seattle, I'm going. And this time it just so happened that Ruthie Kraft and Vincent Antone were playing in the same weekend. And I went to go, just shoot Ruthie Kraft's show. It was at a brewery, and I kind of just did a walk down on Fremont, the Fremont area.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And there was one show that was playing, and I just stood outside and listened to it. It was okay music, but that was like now that I'm looking back on it now, that was like the first real live band that I saw in that area, considering all the times that I've been there. So that's interesting because
there are a ton of great players.
Yeah.
It's just, and half of it is, like, the weather. Like, you can run like a bar with an outside stage for a fraction of the cost, like, of what it would cost in Seattle.
Very true. Yeah. Very true. I tell my wife all the time that if all of my friends just happen to die tomorrow, that's the one place that I would want to move to. But other than that, I kind of want to just, live and die here in Texas. Were you a fan of the weather? Or obviously not, since you moved here?
Not a fan of the weather in Seattle. I mean, like, but if you hit it between July and September,
right?
Man, that's how you get tricked into moving back.
Yeah, blue skies, great weather.
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But for the most part,
the overcast gets kind of old. I mean, it's good motivation to stay inside and play your instrument.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, the rain definitely like gets to you after a while. And so, yeah.
Let's take it back a little bit further. What did you do, or what did your parents do growing up?
So my dad was my dad was a real estate agent.
Okay.
My mom was interpreter and translator. So she immigrated a couple years before I was born from Russia. So all
really?
of our family
Okay.
is still in central Russia, like Western Siberia.
How has that been? Considering worldly events happening.
Man, like it's been an interesting situation for my entire life. Okay. Like it's always like being like saying you're Russian is always you get interesting reads from people.
Really, I never would have thought that would be because I'm just so open minded, and I know where like the type of person you are. It would never come to mind to be like, oh, you're from Russia, you fucking Rusky.
Well, yeah. No, typically people are like, oh, that explains your personality, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I don't smile like a lot on gigs. Yeah,
I've seen you smile at gigs.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, well, I mean, lately, like, it's definitely, it's not great, especially like with all my, family there, and I have some friends in Ukraine as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, just like basic stuff as far as like dealing with like my mom's family, like we couldn't send my grandma like a birthday gift,
right.
Things like that. Just like, day-to-day stuff, a lot more complicated. Getting back to visit family. My grandpa and my great aunt passed away like during COVID, like right before the war started. So not even like war related, but obviously like the war did not help after that.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm optimistic for the future, but it's obviously going to take a while to get there.
No, that's that's difficult. I had no idea. I'm sorry you're going through that, man. That sucks.
It happens, man.
And I think that's a beautiful thing about just having conversations. You get to understand where people are coming from, and you literally don't know what other people are going through until you sit down and have a chat and realize, oh man, that sucks. And it just puts a lot of things in perspective. So, when did the music thing start to grow inside you?
Okay, so when I was in kindergarten, some kid on the bus had a Strat, and he was just like talking about it.
Okay.
Talking about having a Strat. And I thought that was the coolest shit ever.
Okay.
And I told my parents I wanted a guitar, and they said, "You, Greg, are full of shit." So somehow, like through my godparents, we picked up an electric keyboard, and then my dad's mom bought me some like teach yourself piano books.
Okay.
And so I was rolling on that. Not that I'm a proficient like keyboard player at all, but there was some interest there for sure. And then my sixth grade teacher sent out an email to everybody saying, "Hey, I have this free acoustic guitar. Does anybody want it?" And then started playing.
This
and that was it
right here.
Yeah.
All right. What were some of the first songs you were trying to play?
First one was "Smoke on the Water" for sure. I think like early Zeppelin.
That's got to be a staple, right? For every guitar.
Yeah. Zeppelin, and I was like a huge Beatles fan growing up. So like one of the like Clapton solo on "While My Guitar Gently Weeps" was definitely So I say like a combination of like blues based stuff like Zeppelin, Cream, and then Hendrix, and then more songy stuff like Beatles as far as like classic rock stuff. And then I got into Van Halen in high school, and then I was split between like Derek Trucks style jam band and stuff, and Wolfpack style funk in college.
And no influences from like, I don't know, the grunge era, Pearl Jam,
Dude,
Melvins.
I didn't get into grunge until college.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. But you got into it eventually.
Yeah.
All right. But I feel like coming from the mecca of
for sure
that genre of music.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then did the idea of playing music full time, did that become like just a thought?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I don't. My goal is definitely 2. And things are looking better, but
that's what I'm saying. At some point, did it get in you, like, hey, I want to do this full time?
8th grade, and
not be a PM for this
exactly.
job.
Yeah, and somehow I hatched this plan in 8th grade that I was going to study electrical engineering in school and figure out a path to play full time.
Okay,
and here we are. It's been a minute. It's taken a while.
I'm sure
taking a while.
That appeased the parents' like worry of like, oh, what is Greg going to do? He can't do music full time. He has to find a full time.
Oh,
job.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What college did you go to?
I went to Tufts University in Boston. Small school.
You went all the way from Washington to Massachusetts.
Yep.
How was that? Were you scared? Were you nervous? Were you excited?
I was excited. Yeah, I got a ton of financial aid. So and it was so much financial aid. And I was like a pretty strong applicant coming out of high school, but I hadn't been to the East Coast until like 4 days before like orientation. So it's just like, this is clearly my best option. Yeah. Boston is going to be great. I'm going to go. They put on my side of the same floor of this dorm, it was like just musicians. And we started a band like immediately.
That was my next
question. No doubt, lifelong friends.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Right. Yep. Yeah. Worked out.
And then when did you come to Austin?
3.5 years ago. So it was New Year's Eve 2022.
Okay. Where were you during the pandemic, 2020?
I was in Portland, then I got laid off, and my sister had been in Russia at the time, but she liked doing a abroad, like Fulbright program. Got kicked out due to COVID. Then she was living with me in my apartment in Portland. I got laid off. We all moved back in with my parents in a small town in Western Washington.
I'm sure they like that a little bit. Yeah, all the families back together now.
Yeah, dude. It was interesting.
Okay. What is it about Portland that you liked, if anything?
Getting the job initially. Yeah, that was that was.
I'm talking about like the city. It's obviously the job's cool, but like,
well,
the city
you got to
itself.
remember, man. Like I drove every weekend to Seattle.
Yeah.
So yeah, but as far like Portland, very related to Seattle. Food for sure. Mm-hmm. There's some cool venues and stuff, but I wouldn't say. Again, I would say the Portland scene, in terms of opportunities, is a little step down from Seattle. But the talent is still like the players are crazy. Paul Gilbert, the shredder guy,
like from
guitar player.
No, I don't know him.
All right, he lives in Portland. Okay. Incredible guitar shops in Portland.
All right.
Slightly better weather than Seattle. They get ice storms. That's pretty crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
That can't be good because there's a lot of hills in Portland.
Yeah, it's interesting.
What are some of the differences between the Portland music scene and the Austin music scene, if any?
Okay, well, you don't have any of the cover band bar gigs, and this kind of applies to both Seattle.
Is that a good
Portland.
or bad thing?
I think it's a bad thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I think people got to get their chops up. I think forcing yourself to learn other people's songs, communicate with other musicians, all that stuff is super valuable. And so you either have to force yourself into those opportunities as far as like jamming with friends, or you put yourself in paid opportunities. Yeah. And yeah, I think that stuff's incredibly valuable. But lots of cool like original venues, I'd say, and cool original acts. And yeah, for whatever reason, I was leaving all the time every weekend.
Yeah.
But I never felt like it really clicked for me in Portland, playing wise.
What about Seattle?
Yeah.
What are the differences between Seattle music scene and the Austin music scene?
From my experience, it's slightly more like the bar band opportunities in Seattle. I think frequently in Seattle and Portland, you're competing a lot for like regional festivals and like fairs and rodeos, that like those sorts of slots.
Okay.
It can get a little bit more competitive. I don't see folks at least in my experience, I didn't see folks as much like being down to play for multiple projects if it can make the schedule work. It's a little more us against them like mindset, whereas in Austin, everybody plays for whoever. And so that part's been really cool. I think part of that is the abundance of opportunities down here.
Okay. So you get here in 2022. Did you have any connections here?
Yeah.
I know you kind of touched on that. But
yeah, I had a couple friends. Okay, so actually, so I think I was supposed to fly down like the 30th. This was the year that Southwest, or one of the years that Southwest had like a week and a half of flights go out.
Oh,
yeah. So that's when I was going to move. Dude, so I moved, and I knew Ruthie. And yeah. So I knew Kevin, her drummer at the time. Yeah.
Washington.
Ruthie, and I played with Ruthie at Swan Dive that night. So, and I'd come down a couple times to visit, and I'd hit the Friends Jam. And so I just, immediately try it, follow people on Instagram.
Right.
That was the first place I played in town. And get added to a couple Facebook groups, like the famous "Who Gives a Shit, I Need a Gig." That's a good one. And I think I played 50 paid slots my first 3 months, which, for just like moving in, but you got,
I was going to say, I don't know, what is that average? Is that more?
For just moving, well, first of all, it was so much more than I was doing in Washington. Okay. I think like people like guys that I talk to at jams, they like maybe take their time a little bit more. Yeah. But I was immediately trying to meet everybody. I'll learn whatever set. Like it was lots of like, oh, I'm learning somebody's music for this weekend. Memorize stuff, show up, and
when you are learning someone's music, what was like? Was there? Sorry, I'm trying to kill all these skeeters that I let in. Dude, I have this racket that's electrified, and at night I'll get medicated and I'll just start swinging, and it's an electrical show. I might bring it in for this episode because they're bothering the shit out of me. Anyways, where was I going with that? Yeah, so when you're learning to play someone's music, what has been that experience like? Is it kind of a wide breadth of like, all right, learn these songs, or are they giving you actual charts, or they're like, hey, here's my music via MP3, chart it out yourself? What has been the experience in learning?
You want my experience like recently, like the last year or so?
Yeah, sure, let's do that.
All right, so like early on, it'd be frequently just like a Spotify playlist. Okay. And you're gonna like hope that everybody knows the arrangements, like the record, and you show up, and you could be responsible for like 35, 40 songs that night. Okay, so that's one side of things. And more recently, like the last year or so, it's been a lot more 60 to 90 minute, mostly original sets.
All right.
So how it works is there's how it's performed on the record, and then there's how it's performed. You typically have what's called a board tape, which is just a recording from the in-ear rig or front of house. So you need to learn it with the record first. Then you need to learn it with the board tape. You could be in a different tuning on the board tape, and there are going to be transitions on the board tape that don't exist in the studio recording. So you got learn the studio record first, and then you learn how they do it live.
Now, what's the learning curve on that? Like,
yeah, I mean, you just got to listen as much as possible. So if my process now is I'm going to chart everything. You probably aren't going to get charts. You might, but it's always helpful to do it yourself. Okay. And it adds like a visual component for me. I always hate when teachers say like, oh, if you write it down, you'll learn it faster. But for me now, that's true. It sucks.
I mean, they were teaching you that for a reason, Greg. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but they were annoying as shit. Man.
Yeah, they were, but it was for a reason. It's like your parents. Like my parents told me, don't get tattoos. Don't get tattoos. $3,000 later, I'm getting my stars removed. I should have just listened to them, Yeah, they're saying it for a reason. Yep. Okay.
Yeah,
Anyways, moving on.
Anyway, so you chart it first. And then, so let's assume everything like studio, live, everything's in the same key. I'm going to make an effort to, after I've charted everything, I'm going to do a first pass of playing everything without the charts. And then I'm going to, and I should say from the lead guitar perspective,
which that's your role, right?
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's,
we should have started with that.
Yeah. So, signature riffs at the beginning of the song and throughout the song. And then I'm going to try to play as much of the solo off the record as possible. and have it memorized when I show up.
Wow.
So what that means is, chart it out, attempt memorization, going to crash and burn for sure. Going to make a lot of mistakes and wonder why you got called for the gig. For sure, like,
that
happens every time.
Syndrome is just
dude,
seeping
it sucks. And you have to remember, I've done this a couple times. I'll be fine. And then after I've done one pass through, I'm gonna probably make some notes as far as what I know I messed up. Probably run individual songs with the charts more. Try to get some more stuff off the record. As far as like solo and like whatever like key licks within the song, and then I'm gonna go to exclusively board tapes. Like if this, assuming I have like a week to like do this, 2 to 3 days out, I want to be doing exclusively board tapes. And then the key thing, man, is you get on some of these gigs and they're gonna go song. So the big thing from the guitar perspective is you're frequently on an island playing that riff. You get like an intro click in your ears and you're on an island playing that riff, and you got to know what the fuck that riff is. So like I'm quizzing myself between song title and singing the riff in my head, song title, like between the two. So I just want to make sure and the solo, make sure I know how the solo goes. Yeah, and then as much passive listening as I can, because ultimately I'm not gonna have the actual chart memorized, like the numbers really. I'll more have an internal sense of how the song goes, and I'm relying on my interpretation between, hey, I hear like 165 here in my head, along with the vocals, and play and revoice chords as I'm doing that like live. So I got to rely on that part being fine. And like the big thing is just like riffs, and someone like can shout over talk back to you like chord changes if you mess something up. But if there's a drum fill and just guitar, like guitar better play.
Wow. What is the hourly education that you're going through to learn, I don't know, a band's set? Like how much time are you spending like teaching yourself and practicing? If you could ballpark it.
I don't know, man. Let's say like 3 hours dedicated a day, like 6 days in advance. So let's say 18 hours going to it. I'll probably do more passive listening. If I'm driving myself, I'm going to listen the entire time. Yeah.
And I would assume that
this is for like, let's say a 90-minute original set for like, which is standard for like whatever, maybe like 2 covers in there for whatever country artist, country adjacent artist is playing at festivals or like rodeo fair type slot.
And are they compensating you for that practice time, or is
no, but it's because like, it's the only way to move up. Like
right,
if you tank it, you're not going to get called again.
Yeah, I understand that. But I think that's something that we as consumers of music, when we go to a show and we see you up on stage playing, yeah, we hear that performance, but what we don't hear is the hours those 18 hours you dedicated to learning the entire set.
Yeah, that's for the first one. That's then like it's refreshing for everyone after that. But I've been subbing a lot like this year. I was subbing a pretty good amount last year. Yeah. Long story short, I'm trying to focus on studio work, like related.
I see some of your posts, and I definitely want to get into that. But what are some of the things that these people who are hiring you as a hired gun, what can they do better? And I'm not trying to like shit on them, but what I'm learning in talking to musicians is that there's not a standard way to conduct a show, right? There's just like, hey, show up, play, it's music. But I'm just trying to wrap my head around like, what are some of the things that we can incorporate, or what y'all can incorporate to make things easier as a musician? So what are some of the things that these musicians who are hiring you as a hired gun can do better or make it easier for you, if anything?
Man, I don't know. Like I typically get like board tapes, semi-accurate set list, that sort of stuff. Actually, no, I will say one thing that will hurt you if you're like a hired gun on a gig that you're kind of flying blind on, first time meeting everybody in the band, all that sort of stuff, no rehearsal. If you deviate from the set order, it really tests your understanding of, dude, that happens so much.
That's Talk about getting thrown a curveball, man.
Yeah. So it's and that's an easy situation to mess up, and that's definitely reinforce the need to like you don't really think about it, but like associating song start with song title is big. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, when you first started playing at Friends, was there any sort of, I don't know, learned etiquette? Like you walk into a place, you just don't.
First of all, Friends does not operate on these standards.
No, I understand that, but I'm just saying for any new artist that may be coming into Austin, and it seems like Friends is the jam place. Like, what are some of the proper etiquettes? I don't know, protocol to go to a place like Friends. Like, what's your experience level as a guitar player in there? Or it has to be like 3 or 4 years. You need to know charts. You need to know.
Oh, no, I didn't need to know charts. I think it's helpful to know numbers.
Okay.
So like when I'm saying like 1, 4, 5 in terms of calling chords within a key.
Okay.
Know how that works. I think it's helpful to play in tune. It's helpful to play. No, not kidding. Helpful to play at a reasonable volume. Also, it's helpful to think of it as if you're up there at the jam, I think it's worthwhile to think of how, if this was being recorded, how would I produce this? And the main thing there is, would I be perpetually soloing over the vocalist or another person soloing? So just like think about your rhythm playing, work on your rhythm playing, work on your time, your groove, all that, and think of it as like an opportunity, not just like, I mean, if you want to have fun, that's fine. But if you're trying to play some gigs, meet some folks, network, that kind of stuff, I would treat it like that.
I was talking to Jacob West when we were playing golf the other day, and he told me there's a particular guitar player here in town who tunes by ear only. Can you name him? He specializes in blues.
I don't know if this is supposed to be a good thing or a bad thing.
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to get at.
No, I'm sure it can work. I am sure it can work. But I know a lot of people. Let me say, I know a lot of people that should not tune by ear only. Yeah.
Which the majority of people, I think the majority of guitarists I've seen all use some sort of tuner, but it was pretty shocking that Paul Val only tunes by ear. And there was an issue with Jacob's guitar. He was like, it was like an open jam thing. And he picked up Paul's guitar, and he's like, "Holy shit, this is a little bit different."
Yeah, and that's always like because then you're just like looking like a dumbass on stage, like especially if you hop up in a jam sort of environment, dude. And you're like, you have 2 options: 1, you tune loud as fuck, and everybody knows the struggle that's happening. 2, you can't really hear yourself, and
it sounds terrible.
Yeah, and when you get counted in, like it's gonna be rough.
Yeah. So as you're kind of growing your network here in Austin, 2022, what were some of the key moments that you thought like what were some of the stepping stones that you felt you've achieved after, I don't know, establishing yourself at Friends? Like, what did that lead to?
All right, so I've played at a lot of venues in town that I initially was going to shows at. Okay. So that's all been fun. I think I've played a sold out Antone's show. I've played a sold out.
Who's that? Sold out Antone's.
I think it was with opening with Nick Parr for Eddie 9V.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nick Parr is wild.
Yeah, dude.
Oh my God. Talk about energy that he brings to a show.
Yeah.
It just doesn't stop.
Yeah, no, I've done a little bit of touring with him, and actually I did some recording with him in Martindale for his upcoming album. Yeah, so let's say Antone's, and then actually I played a sold out thing with Nick at Saxon. That was sick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember what year that was?
I think 2024.
Okay.
Yeah.
So within 2 years, you were playing a show at Saxon Pub, a really established location here in Austin.
Yeah, and like a weekend slot. I think I played like a weekday slot like earlier.
Okay.
Yeah. Man, it's a good question. I haven't really thought about. I don't think of venues as much as, or like I happen to think of it as venues as like landmark, or like milestone, like moments from my playing career. Let's see. I guess like recently, I've played Billy Bob's in Fort Worth twice. to good sized crowds
Okay.
with Shelby Stone, Win Williams.
Was there one pinnacle, like one moment that, like, because you're now a touring musician, right? So like all the work that you put in at Friends and networking and shaking hands, was there anything that stuck out that like led you to, furthering your career in music and potentially making it, making the right steps to making it full time?
You know what? Actually, so a big step for me was playing with Win Williams last year. He's a country artist out of Fort Worth.
Okay.
And the guy who plays drums for Nico, Caden.
Riles? Okay.
Caden. So I met him at the Friends Jam. That's how I got the Win gig, and that was bizarre.
Yeah.
Because between like the professionalism between like what sometimes happens at the Friends Jam and like Win's show is leaps and bounds.
How did Caden play in the mix of this?
Caden came. I didn't even know he played drums, man. And this, I haven't told Caden this. But yeah. So Caden came up to me after I played, and he was really complimentary of my playing.
Yeah.
And imposter syndrome. My first thought was, man, this guy must be a dog shit musician. This guy must be terrible.
Why? Because you were so like not impressed with your own.
Man, I played like shit. Like, what are you talking about? Get out of here.
Man, this guy does not have an ear for music.
Yeah. It turned out to be quite the opposite. Yeah.
Oh, clip that, Ramon.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's good. And so, what, he made the introduction to you?
Yeah. No, they ended up in a tough spot last year. I think last April. They needed a sub for a couple shows. I was like 6 days out. I didn't do shit the first day, so I had 5 days in that one.
Wow.
Yeah, we played at Texas Live outside of the Rangers Stadium.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then I ended up hitting the road a bit with Win for a couple months last year. But I think, meeting Caden for sure at Friends. Yeah, and that's the thing, man. You never know what the connection is, and that's why I've continued to go to the Friends Jam, because you just don't know who's going to show up.
Yeah.
And I try to not have any like even if it's like down to practice, it's important to master and continue to pursue mastery in the most basic of shit, and you're never above anything. And including how you network.
Yeah.
I'd say. Yeah. Including we're still reaching out to posts on like who gives a shit, I need a gig.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that translates to any creative endeavor, especially mine, my work. As you know, I took that $150 job, which I'm no longer going to do tonight, but still, it was like, man, it's just a cool opportunity. You never know what the job is going to lead to next, and I think you have to have that open mind.
Yeah.
And you can't be full of yourself, and that's a very good point. So what was your first, this is a dumb question because I kind of already know the answer, but when did you first meet Nico? Because that's how we met.
Yeah, I met him at the Friends Jam as well. Probably at some point in 2023. I think that's when he moved.
Okay, yeah.
Or maybe when he was thinking about moving, he might have visited as well. And then he asked me to play at some point. And
did he provide you charts for all? So that's a no?
No, he did not. He said, "You'll be fine.
You'll be fine. You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
You'll figure it out, bud."
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I've played some amount of shows with Nico. I think I produced Train Song for him.
Oh yeah, okay.
When it first came out. Played that release show with him at Antone's, and occasionally sub with him. I'm subbing. Reese is gonna be out of town on the 16th. So I'm playing the Continental slot.
Oh, that's it's in 2 weeks, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, man.
This last show at Seaboys, what a show!
Yeah.
It's really
that's a great opportunity for those guys.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, and I've definitely heard a lot about folks wanting to get into Seaboys.
Is it hard?
That's what I've heard. I mean,
really?
Obviously a lot of people in town play at Seaboys, and I've played a couple hired gun slots there. But just in terms of booking, I feel like folks jumping up from the cover band slot or I guess it makes sense. Or even I feel like I've seen people who play at sax and not necessarily have the luck getting the C-boys.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't do a ton of booking myself, so it's definitely hearsay I'm hearing around gigs.
Right.
But I definitely am impressed and happy for those dudes to get a residency.
Well, I guess I just don't know the how illustrious a C-Boys show is, because it just seems so nonchalant. It's a great venue. It's always a good time. There's always good musicians playing there. I just never knew it was a hard thing to do.
Looks like it from my side of the world.
Why is it? Because of management? Because it's just booking? Because they're tough to get a hold of? Like,
A lot of folks want to play there. They have a lot of really impressive acts already playing there. I think there's a historic, like, there's a reason why like Marcus King, when he shows up in town, wants to play. So I think you need to really prove your value in terms of musical skill and or selling tickets in order for it to be worthwhile. And to get all of those things going together, it takes a lot.
Well, it's not even, I mean, but they don't do tickets. They do, at the door.
Sorry, that's what I mean by getting people in the room.
Yeah, but there's no measurable, from my mind, I don't think, if you're not collecting tickets through some sort of, I don't know, app or whatever, like just getting people to show up through the door and paying that cash cover, that's got to be tough to measure.
Well, I know for a fact they're tracking it.
Okay,
and
I know they are, but I just
Yeah.
think of, in our digital age of tracking tickets, that's very easy to do, and there's applications out there. But then to be just like, all right, because of your following, like you're going to bring tickets or you're going to bring sales to the venue. I don't know. That's I don't know. That seems very hard to do, hard to track as well. But
yeah, well, I think it's probably ticket sales are a whole can of worms that I'm not super qualified to open. I just
it's
I see when there are people there or the people who are not there.
Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about you producing, not just Nico, but like what is your method of producing for musicians?
Okay, well, so I was in a band. We put out an album, Gold Rush.
Hell yeah.
So
was that your first project that you did?
In Austin, but I've done a ton of. I've been DIY recording since high school.
No idea. That's
so
awesome.
I put out like 2 albums, a live album, and 2 EPs as
you produced a live album.
Yeah, well, it's on Spotify under my name.
Okay.
So. Yeah, and then like even back in college, I did like 4 EPs of my own stuff, 3 EPs of my band stuff, and I've done a lot of recording projects along the way. So anyway, that when we got to doing the Gold Rush stuff, I think I did the first one. Then our first bassist at the time before Mihao, did a couple songs for us, and I definitely learned a ton from watching like how he works, like as far as like amping up like a production on a rock project. So yeah, he left for a better country artist opportunity, and I picked up where he left off doing the album. So I produced, mixed, wrote a couple of mine, but wrote the lyrics and stuff. But anyway, that was a great experience as far as making a record. Which then I did Nico's train song for him. I think I did a couple Carly Wascom. I don't know if you know Carly.
Name sounds familiar.
Yeah, I did a couple Carly songs as well. But anyway, I'd say there are 2 different, so that's led me with the technical chops. I just moved into a spot with my girlfriend, and I have a studio where I can do drums, first time in my life.
Oh, okay.
So that's led me with the technical chops to think I can produce people. I'd say there are 2 different situations for producing, or like there are 2 main buckets from how I'm seeing things. One is you're producing a band, which is more of, maybe Nico falls a little bit in the middle here, but probably it's closer towards a band. And then there's producing a singer, so like when I hire a drummer, and I'm probably going to play everything except for like keyboard, bass, and basic synth parts, but I'll do bass, drum, or bass, acoustic, electric parts on it. So yeah. two different categories. I'm doing a tiny bit of like supplemental guitar stuff on Nico's record, but it's definitely closer towards the band side of things. Although he has some session guys, some cool stuff happening as far as higher profile session guys playing some stuff.
Hell yeah, good.
Yeah.
And do you like? How do you keep the imposter syndrome out when you are producing for a musician, because they're coming to you with the idea and you kind of have to help shape and form, their idea of the song?
Yeah. Well, at a certain point, they're trusting you. You probably know more or have a better like music theory and like harmonic sense than them. So it's two things. One, you gotta trust your instincts and just commit and put like parts down. And then you A/B it with things that are out and commercially acceptable, whether that's the performance, the mix, any of that sort of stuff. So that's with the artist. And then I recently had so there's a cover of, and Nico said it's cool if I say this. But,
okay.
There's
exclusive.
Yeah, a Steve Miller cover on his record.
Okay.
That he plays out a lot.
Yeah.
And a couple guys from the Steve Miller. So Grooveline, he was talking about the Sea Boys, but Grooveline's playing on a couple tracks in the album.
No shit. He got Carlos and all those guys?
Yep. Yeah.
I just photographed and filmed them at Anton's.
Oh, no way.
Friday for that Zach Morgan in France.
Yeah.
Dude, they are the nicest individuals I've ever met. I mean,
great to work with. It's shocking to work with guys that caliber. Yeah.
They could be complete douchebags because of their experience, and I don't think anyone would blame them for that, but they couldn't have been more nicer when I like drunkenly asked them all these questions of like, oh my God, how long you guys been playing, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. They were so nice and so accommodating. So yeah, that's amazing. That's really
all right. So
good.
yeah, Grooveline's playing on a couple tunes on the record. And then, so there's a Steve Miller band cover, and they hooked up the connection with the guitarist and organ player from the last like 15 years to maybe 2 decades from the Steve Miller band.
Wow.
Yeah. So guitarist was over at my house like a week and a half ago.
were you fanboying out, or were you just like?
I wasn't really fanboying out. I was just like, fuck, man. Now's the time to not fuck up.
Right.
Yeah. Now's the time. Yeah. So so one thing there, like, first of all, like he's using like my amps and my setup. Like Randy brings his guitars, pedal board.
So you're familiar with the equipment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then there are two things, like you're monitoring the part that they're coming up with when it's someone that's a lot better than you. It gives, first, you gotta like know what they're playing and be able to give suggestions, how things sync, the track better than them probably, how things sync up, how things are gonna like develop, how you foresee them developing through the track. And the second thing is knowing when they mess up or when they could do a better take and asking them to do it again. So that's finesse, and that's like finesse with no matter the skill level, like on the other side of the proverbial glass. Grant, I don't have glass in my spot, but
how old are you?
I'm 30.
And how old was the guitar player?
50.
Was there any hesitancy to tell him, hey, you can do a better track?
Well, you don't really say it like that. It's just like, hey, let's do it again.
Okay.
And same way they know, it's like, cool. But he was super cool. He's an extremely open book in terms of how he's communicating stuff. Okay. So I knew that if there was a problem with, he was saying if there were problems, wherever, I knew if there was a problem with what I was doing, he was going to tell me immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that gave me some confidence.
If there was a problem, you would solve it.
Yeah.
That's because in my mind, I don't know. I'm an overthinker, and I'm already thinking of the way people will respond if I say something this way. That's why I'm like, so for example, if someone just looks terrible on camera, I would be processing the way that I would tell them, hey, you need to go to the mirror, look at yourself and freshen up. But then I would be worried about the response that would elicit in them to be like not confident, that might, break their spirit. So I'm just like, I'm a constant ball of stress.
Fair. I don't know. I feel like for some reason, someone's appearance for an artist could just like hit them the wrong
right
way.
'cause
Maybe
there's
maybe
an
different
ego
than
there. And I'm like, I'm not trying to damage it. I'm just trying to get the best out of you.
Yeah, exactly.
And so like I'm very cognizant of how I choose my words sometimes, and and sometimes it cages me so much that I don't say anything. I'm like, oh, well, I'll fix it in post, I guess.
Yeah, right. Well, so, and some of that is knowing, I feel like, same from the producer spot, is knowing what you can fix later.
Yeah.
Or if we're doing a couple takes of something, I know I got the first half of something in an earlier take. I know I got the back half in a later take. I know, like, hey, we can move on. Because it takes energy every time you do something.
Yep.
And people can definitely get frustrated, or you stop getting the best out of them.
Oh, I can't even imagine like singers. They only have so much capacity to, go full force on a song. Like that's got to be tough.
Yeah. It's super personal to everybody.
For sure.
It's your life's work.
Yeah. As far as an education in sound recording, I know you said it's a lot of DIY. What were some of the resources that you utilized to help perfect the craft of recording sound? YouTube? Because that's my resource.
Yeah, YouTube so much. I think, and just experience like doing it. So I started in Washington State. You can go to community college for free your second year, your last 2 years of high school.
So I was liberal heaven for all.
Yeah, so I was taking some like math classes that weren't in high school, and took music theory. More importantly, and jazz band. But more importantly, through the professor, I had access to the building on the weekends.
Got it. All right.
So we could come. Me and my buddy, who's a couple years older than me, would come in like on Saturday and just figure out how to record stuff for the very first time, not knowing what we were holding, just getting through it, right? And so just that process of initially, like, how does something go from a song I wrote to like something like I play in the car? You got to go through that process a million times, and then you're slightly tweaking things as you go. The one thing that I will say is that I don't feel like I pursue production and mixing anywhere close to how focused I am on guitar playing. And so as my guitar playing has progressed, it's been easier to be a better session player and a session player on my tracks or whoever's tracks. And it's really reinforced the fact that the most important thing is the performance. And if the performance and the take, if that's not right, no plugin is going to save the day. So yeah.
Okay. Now, what do you think? Well, not what do you think. What makes you more money as a musician? Recording, being a producer, or being a session player?
Well, just because the abundance of live opportunities in Texas right now, it's being a live player.
Okay.
And I hope to transition that into. It depends on how you structure your production agreements.
Right.
I'm less interested in cash right now, and I'm more interested in an ultimate piece of the profits if a song does make money through a sync placement, which is a great way for an independent artist to make money. Okay. So that's like whatever TV ad, film placement. I'm interested in making long-term money through those deals and making the best records that I can right now without taking cash and hurting the marketing efforts of the artist right now.
Hell yeah, dude. That's phenomenal. That's brilliant. That's very unselfish. Well,
all right. Well, people are. Okay, so
I would say that's unselfish.
People don't want to do. But what I will say is, I'm not interested in having any. Because sometimes, like, if you do have a piece of the pie, you can have a say in how a work is exploited in the future. But you can also sign those rights away. So I won't know if I can say in any of that. Like, do whatever you want with it.
I'm just thinking, like, what if our Lord and Savior Donald Trump just like picks up one of the songs?
He's not going to know I produced it, dude. He's not going to know I produced it. You're going to have to look so long. Yeah, you're going to have to look so far in the credits. Especially a W last name, dude. I'm way at the bottom. You're not going to see that.
Oh man, that would be hilarious. Okay. When was the first time you went on tour with a musician, and what was that like? Well, before that, how did you get approached to go on tour?
Well, all right. So I think tour is a really.
When did you first get flown out to go play a show with a musician of a high caliber?
Well, actually, I think the first time was for a session. I played on.
That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
an artist I knew back from Seattle flew me out to play in Seattle on her record. Worked in a really cool studio out there. This would have been sometime towards the end of 2024, like September. Yeah, like Labor Day, something like that.
How did that come to be?
I knew her from way back. I'd never played in her band. I feel like I was a couple years younger than everybody like she was hiring. And so I was still, a little green, like getting my chops up and stuff. But she came down to visit at some point and we did a co-write, and that song ended up being the lead single off her upcoming record.
Okay.
Or probably the record that just came out like 2 months ago. So yeah, her name's Kara Hess. Tune was Sigh of Relief. But yeah, she flew me out to work on her record in Seattle.
Did you bring your own guitars?
I brought one, and then I
Carry On or
at the time Carry On. I'm on the flight case game right now,
Okay.
though.
All
Yeah.
right. Is that dangerous because they might lose it or they might damage? Actually, I don't know.
There's danger in both.
Yeah.
All right. So and
Like
it
the
feels,
biggest stressor for me would be finding overhead space.
Yeah,
Like,
there's not always, and sometimes like on a regional flight, and even on I feel like interstate or a lot longer flights, the carry-on, it feels like the carry-on compartments are shrinking, and sometimes you straight up don't have enough space for a really normal size, not a bass, not like a 335, like a really normal like Strat or Tele like shaped guitar. So it's either that or you put it in the closet. Dude, I've carried on a couple guitars to Russia before, like, and that's
yeah,
that's a stressor. Yeah,
Yeah, I wouldn't want to check that one. You might not be getting the guitar back.
yeah.
Putin might be confiscating that one.
No, he liked the Strat. Yeah,
But I remember seeing Jose, who's Jose Gutierrez. He's a drummer here in town. I was flying out with him for a show, and he had this like Ninja Turtle half shell on his backpack with all his symbols. And I'm like, how the fuck are you gonna get that in the overhead bin? It's just not. It doesn't fit.
man. What? Yeah,
And then he shoved it in there. I'm like, oh my god, it fit.
okay, so cymbals are one thing. I feel like a solid body electric guitar is another thing.
Yeah.
Okay, man. I see country guys just roll on with an expensive acoustic guitar in a gig bag, like not a really padded gig bag. It's like, what do you
Not like your guitar because
You're
that's how
asking
you're gonna
for trouble.
fucking ruin it.
Yeah, because like it's gonna get gate checked, and then
And then
who
people
knows
are
what-
throwing their shit on top of it.
Yeah.
Not ideal.
No good. Strollers, carry-ons. Yeah. So I got a flight case for Christmas. Fits 2 guitars. Does the trick.
Good.
Always goes
Protect
to
your investment.
Yeah. Always goes to the extra size baggage. So it's more likely to get lost.
God.
More
Yeah.
likely to get lost. But it's definitely. I'd rather. Yeah, I don't know. I see myself getting off the road at some point. I'd rather like either fly a day early or, sometimes you got to risk it.
Sure,
But,
but even in the oversized baggage claim, there's like my golf clubs will come out, and then there's just like baby carriers just falling on top of it. So even that's kind of dangerous. But
yeah.
so when did you first get on? Okay, we'll call it. When did you first travel for a touring music event?
I'd say the first one that felt legit was playing with Wynn Williams last year.
Okay.
How
did that come to be?
Again, through Caden. That's the guy I was
shit,
talking about
Caden.
earlier. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Same guy. They're same artist. I started playing for him.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So let's see. We did a fly out thing in Steamboat. That was cool. We did a couple shows in Alberta. That was fun.
What Steamboat venue were you playing at? Do you remember?
Whatever the stage is.
Schmiggity's? No. You're talking about Colorado, right?
Yeah.
There's a venue there called Schmiggity's that I'm
It
familiar
was the
with.
outdoor
Then I
thing
wouldn't know.
for their Oktoberfest thing. Yeah, that was fun. We did some van stuff, and a couple guys were like flying in and out of that, like Colorado, Wyoming, Idaho.
Wow. Okay. What was the hotel situation like? Or were you sleeping in the van?
No, hotels.
Okay.
Yeah.
Motel 6, Motel 8s.
I don't.
Holiday Inns?
Above, definitely above Motel 6.
Was it?
I was happy with my accommodations.
Okay,
I had my own bed.
Dude, that's awesome. That's sick.
Yeah.
Was it one of those motel or hotels where like the door is automatically outside, or did you have to go like inside the hotel?
Oh, automatic doors.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Definitely a couple exceptions to all of that, but like for the most part, like I've had worse. For sure. Yeah.
When you are, what was the sensation like to be like, hey, I'm traveling musician, I'm going to play these shows? Was that cool?
Well, definitely. I mean, every step up, you find new ways to have imposter syndrome, for sure. I do anyway. Like, of ways things can be more legit, for sure. But ultimately, like, it's, try to remember that at some point in the past, I would have been hyped to be there.
Yeah.
The old cliche. Yeah. And those guys are like all great players. One is a great voice. I thought, like, regardless, sometimes you're playing for a ton of people, sometimes you're playing for not a lot of people, and regardless, there was a lot of musicianship on stage in terms of like I just thought we sounded good every time, and I have not always been able to say that. Actually, you know what? I thought of another flyout gig I did, but I guess the first one was. So we were in Vegas last December, the December before 2024. This would have been after that session. I did a one-off thing in Vegas for National Final Rodeo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Where was the venue? Or what place? Was it like in a parking lot?
No, it's like hotel bar, like the one that Barry Manilow plays at. I forgot. We played the same one this year with a different artist.
No, I'm kidding.
No, it's near, yeah. I guess everything's close to it. Yeah. I forgot the name of the spot.
Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about that imposter syndrome, because I certainly feel it when I'm. So Vincent Antone played a show at Mission Ballroom, and I'm sitting behind it. I'm like, what the fuck am I? Why am I going to take this picture behind him? This is dumb. What am I doing here? This is, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like I belong here. But then I look at the photos, I'm like, oh, actually, it's kind of cool. Yeah. 25-year-old Ramon would have loved this, but right now, 38-year Ramon is just a curmudgeon and like expecting better, Not better from the performance or the fee, but it just like I feel like my photo wasn't justified. It didn't feel like I was producing the best work, when in turn it really was. But
well, I feel like I get it both ways. Like, one, I feel like I played like shit, and I need to address stuff for sure.
Yeah,
a lot. And then the other, maybe certain parts of the gig aren't going that great. Some parts of it are a little, like, with whatever artist, maybe some things are a little unprofessional, and you're like, hey, this should be better. Maybe pay isn't incredible, and you're like, hey, this should be better. I should be doing better by now. Mm-hmm. And it's, putting a clock on it. Yeah. Yep. So yeah, and as far as the playing stuff, I think another thing too is just like trying to play with a studio attitude on stage. Okay. And yeah, I'm trying to, like, not let the inner monologue, run wild if there's one shitty note, or a couple shitty notes, or maybe even like things where, hey, my touch is a little off, and like I that's not how I wanted to place that, and just like move on. Yeah.
Of all the problems that I encounter within my own workflow, and I can point out hundreds of flaws, not one musician, not one corporate client has ever pointed out that thing that I thought I messed up, or the thing that I messed up. So like when you're playing notes, or when you do mess up, has anyone ever called you out on it?
Oh, definitely.
Oh, really?
oh, yeah. And sometimes in talk back, like someone,
like, Greg, you fucking suck.
Or no, they're just going, That's definitely happened, dude. Okay, yeah, right. not that much. I can, like, one or two times.
Okay.
Like that bad. Yeah, in general, as far as, let's say, a fan, like a casual listener, right? No, dude.
Okay.
No. They're like, oh, you rushed the back half of that 16th note phrase. No, they don't care. Like a little attitude. Nah, they don't know. It's just like all loud rock and roll.
What are you trying to do in 2027 since we're already halfway through 2026?
All right, so I'm excited about this Nico record a lot. I have a new solo project. I'd like to put out some more tunes.
Okay, so back up on me. Is he
Yeah.
producing an entire album? Or, I mean, is he recording an entire album?
We at least have the rhythm section track for an album, and we'll see how things come out.
All
I
right.
think when, first of all, like Nico kind of put the rush on me to get this, get my studio up and running, because I was in the process of moving in with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
But he's like, hey, I want to get this record going. And at the time, I didn't know Groove Line was going to say yes. I didn't know Steve Miller Band guys from me down. So
He's
things
like,
are looking.
hey, Greg, you really need to hurry and get this shit together.
Well, yeah, but also like they said yes after like hearing, like the initial stuff that we did at the house. Yeah, so I don't know how like at least a couple singles, and then we'll see from there. I think that the plan, like, it's a very fluid situation, but I'm excited about the quality of work that we're doing.
Good,
for sure.
That's awesome. I'm excited to hear.
Thanks, man. Okay, so I can't think as far as like 2027, but like my short to medium term like production goals are to establish some projects outside of the genres that I feel like I have strong portfolio in right now, whether it's like the hyped up rock shit of Gold Rush or the blues, funk, soul stuff, sometimes indie rock of Nico stuff. I like to do some country projects, and I'd like to work in pop as well.
Can you give me some examples of like pop stars that you would like to work with? Not necessarily like, oh, I'm going to work with Taylor Swift or whatever, but what are the genres or main artists from those genres off the top of your head? I can't think of any pop artists. That's why I'm asking, because I don't really listen to a lot of pop.
The Dua Lipa record before last, I listened to on
all right, I know who Dua Lipa is.
Yeah.
Right. Why pop? Because it makes money?
Okay, so but also I like the mass appeal. I know I've executed well in some like co-writing projects in the past, and I like. First of all, I just like good sounding records. Like, I like doing getting through like a good mix and a clean production, and I also. I just know I'm going to learn stuff. Okay. I learned a lot when I first started playing country. I didn't grow up playing country, and it turned out to be a big thing as far as advancing me as a technicality as a player.
Okay.
As a guitar player. Yeah.
Is there some sort of formula that leads to mass appeal, like that you're aware of?
No, I don't think there is.
Okay.
But it's interesting because like you do see like, for example, in country, you see a lot of the guys following the same like kind of same approach, and but also it makes me think: is there a ceiling on how big any of those guys can get? Because while it is interesting and while it would be extreme success, the things that I consider monumental in terms of like Beatles, Nirvana, Oasis are generally giving the current situation kind of a fuck you. So it's definitely in the back of my mind. Right. I just don't know how to execute it right now.
Yeah. Trying to find that mass appeal because you want as many people to listen to your record, but I think there's a fine line that you're trying to balance of making it popular, but also staying authentic to the artist, but also trying to bring something new to the masses. And sometimes, I don't know, that doesn't always seem to work out. What I mean by that is like, Princess Bride it's a very popular movie. You're familiar with it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. When it was released, box office failure because they didn't know who to market to. But once it got to VCR, it was almost like, hey, this is a good movie. You should watch it. So here's a copy. And then that person would take the VCR or the cassette to someone else and they would watch it. So it's like, I think you just need to make something that's good and authentic to you, the artist, and then maybe it'll be distributed amongst other people. I think that's the formula.
Yeah.
Maybe.
A lot of Rick Rubinisms,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. And similar to like a delayed success, I'm hoping I'm getting this right because it's second hand for my girlfriend. But I'm pretty sure Chapel Roan's record like was out for a while before it blew up.
Okay.
And then she had a huge 25.
Oh my God. Dude, we went to ACL that year.
Yeah, me too.
I was like, I've never seen these many people fucking follow this one artist
the
all the way
umbrellas.
back. Yeah. And it was like, what, a 6 o'clock show or something like that?
Yeah.
It was insane.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is this Pink Pony Club? I don't know what it is. It doesn't sound good to me right now.
First time I'm hearing
and
of
then,
it. Yeah.
like, then I think it was Jack started doing it at a Rustic Tap. I'm like, hey, I know that song. That's fucking Pink Pony Club. And now I'm like, okay, it's a jam. And then months later, like, we were playing it in the car. I'm like, okay, yeah. So, yeah, it's just always weird to find what's going to be appealing to the masses. But how do you not sell out? Or maybe you do sell out and you rake in
I don't
all
know
the
what
cash.
selling out is. I think selling out was
Real Big Fish
like
does.
2-deck or turnstile. Respect to them though. Okay, selling out was like putting your music in a Ford ad.
In a what?
Ford ad.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, but that's not selling out anymore.
Yeah. So, what do you think of like musicians that are becoming popular through the means of like social media, Instagram, TikTok?
Great.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and well, also I don't like watch a ton of TikTok.
Nor do I.
I wouldn't say I'm picking up a bunch of new artists from Reels, but yeah, gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
I have no issues with it.
That's just the part of the method of marketing, right? These
Yeah.
days.
Mhm. Yeah, before I'm sure people didn't like going on the radio, talk about stuff.
That is very true. Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of is how it is.
How do artists change that mindset from being just an artist to also becoming a entrepreneur, a business person? Because I think that's something that you have to change in your mind, that yeah, it's about the art, but it's also, I need to make a living. I need to do the things that a proper business would do, even though it sucks.
Okay, well, I definitely don't execute both. Like,
Not very well, but I'm sure there are some business practices that you have as far as like negotiating rates and whatnot, right?
well, I can't like speak to like negotiating rates too much, but let's say,
All right, Greg, I want you to play guitar right now for $10.
not gonna do it, Ramon.
See? There you
Do you have
go.
a board tape?
All right,
Okay.
$150.
We'll talk. Yeah. Well, no. You know what? Recent events have definitely made me think about like the hire to gun rate, especially just like what's it worth your how worth it is your time versus like the amount of prep it's going to take.
Yeah.
That we talked about already. The amount of prep it's going to take me in travel, and that kind of stuff. I think like the big thing is maybe the switch that needs to flip for artists at a more local Austin level, that you see people like Grayson or Ruthie, whoever, I'm doing pretty well, is people aren't going to listen to your music if you just put it up and post it on your Facebook and say, hey, please listen to my music. Not going to do it. Mm-hmm. They need to be reminded a million times and need to have a million reasons and incentives as to why they're going to why they should listen to it. And that's it. And then other things, I think you're going to have to invest in your band. You're going to have to invest in some amount of social media marketing, I think, to be successful, and get the ball rolling, at least initially, for followers and streams, to get more eyes on your stuff. And then hopefully through that, it's just a really limited personal experience. I've seen like streaming stuff pick up algorithmically from getting folks to listen to your stuff through Instagram ads. So it's like some effort into marketing after like the work starts, after the song comes out, and things that you don't want to cost money, that are uncomfortable to spend money on. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying I have a plan for how to raise the funds, any of that stuff. I'm just saying it is going to cost money at a certain point to have the band you want, to sound the way you want, to look the way you want, all that sort of stuff. Same stuff with hiring a videographer, all that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a business, and any business is going to need some startup cash. So that's just the way it is. Yeah. What are you like? So when you first moved to Texas, what did you like about it? What did you not like about it?
Well, it certainly does get hot here, Ramon.
That's
would say, like,
an easy answer, obviously.
Okay. Drivers, not great, I think. But, you know, I've lived in LA, dealt with Seattle traffic. Have experience sitting on the highway, for sure. If you get like 15 miles outside of Austin, it gets like real Texas for sure. That was an eye opener.
Some good old boys
for sure. That was just like, oh shit, yeah, we're here. Like, yeah, dude.
Some Trump 2028 signs going outside.
For sure, dude. Real confident folks.
Yep.
Yeah, and politically, socially, all of it, just confident people. Yeah. I think I've touched on everything I loved, like the amount of opportunities, how cool everybody is as far as helping people out getting gigs, not being selfish about opportunities, stuff like that. All that has been absolutely great in Austin.
Awesome. What is Seattle's main burger chain? Is it called Dick's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never been.
Oh, I was about to ask you Dick's versus P. Terry's. No. I've been. It's like a McDonald's hamburger. It's not that good.
Actually, I haven't been to an In-N-Out in Texas either. I got hooked on P. Terry's. I'm like, this kicks the shit out of Whataburger.
Sure, I will agree. We can be friends still. That I 100% agree. Did you go to In-N-Out in L.A.?
Yeah, plenty of times. Mm-hmm.
I will say there is a slight difference in as far as like taste. I think the burgers out in Southern California, that's where I grew up, I think they do taste better, but the consistency of service is across the board always awesome at In-N-Out. So you're going to get great customer service here in Texas as well. Okay, last question. What is something that the Austin music scene can benefit from? Because I asked I heard a conversation about how Nashville has the infrastructure to produce not better music, but more commercial worthy music. They have the producers, they have the studios, whatever.
Yeah, writers. Well, they definitely have the studio infrastructure. Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that's great, but they find the one thing that is going to make the most amount of money, and then they just stamp and repeat it with whatever artist, whatever genre is going to fit that demographic. But what can the Austin music scene benefit from, in your opinion?
Well, I think there are a lot of things in my limited experience with Nashville. I think there are a lot of things to learn from Nashville, or like things that just like a little bit more professionalism in terms of being prepared on cover gigs in town. Some people, just like a little bit, and have maybe just like a raised expectation, or people being more clear with their expectation, even.
So better communication.
For sure. We definitely. So I guess like the label and like artist development thing is one thing I definitely see, I see a million Texas country artists going to Nashville for their management, studio production, all that sort of stuff. I think right now, from being an aspiring producer here in Austin, I think that's a huge opportunity.
Okay. So you're seeing something that is missing, and you're kind of just spearheading to make sure that you're providing that piece. That's awesome.
The competition's legit.
Yeah.
The competition's fucking legit.
For sure.
Yeah, dude, those guys can play. But I think it's absolutely an opportunity here. And I would love to see more people in Austin releasing music, releasing better sounding music, all that.
Raw is probably one of the bands that I am just infatuated with. Because
Russick, yeah,
dude. Because
I did a mix or two for
you
those
did
guys, yeah.
Fuck, it's on my Spotify playlist.
I did Color, and then Why maybe.
Okay, but my God, their energy at every show that I've been to, it's just so infectious, and I'm like, all right, I want to look up their songs, but they only have like 4 songs out, so I'm like, okay, yes, eventually they'll start producing more songs, but that's the first thing that I listen, or that's the first thing that I want after a live show. When I see a band, I'm like, what are your songs? How can I fucking find them? And I go to Raw's, Spotify page, and they're not there. So I'm like, fuck, I can't listen to them. But I 100% agree with you.
Or maybe it's was out under Raul, the stuff that I was talking about. I think there's more. Yeah, and it's like I think from the outside eye, it was initially a little confusing between the two. But Ra is because it was like the same guys in Raul's band versus Ra.
Taste is the song that I was able to say.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, so, but yeah, Ra has only been a band for a couple months.
I know.
Now. But I like those guys, okay, so cohesive visual thing, undeniable energy. Then I love that they're recording themselves too.
Yeah.
And they're only going to...
Studio M Broma.
Yeah.
Is their production studio.
Yeah, Riley and Seth.
Yeah.
I'm glad, those guys are only going to get same shit I was talking about as far as personal stuff. You only get better the more times you do it.
Man, I had an important question about that, going off that, but I forgot. I'll think of it tonight at 2 a.m. Yeah, man, we've been at it for an hour. Over an hour. Now we're like 20. Any last words?
Appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah, thanks for coming by. You're always a quiet guy. And honestly, one of my most favorite moments was up in the green room at Mohawk, when Jack rolled in with his bouquet of flowers. And he's a poor guy. He got stood up.
Yeah.
And we were there to laugh at him. You laughed at him first. Because I walked in, I'm like, what the hell happened? And then you just started giggling. And then I found out.
Sorry, Jack.
Yeah. Sorry, Jack. It was a good time, though. Yeah. We love you.
Was it the newspaper bouquet? Was it? Yeah.
It was. Oh, my
Classy.
God. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's a
real romantic.
Yeah. No. Oh, my God. It was.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, that's all I got, dude. Thank you so much for showing up.
Thank you, man.
How far is your trip back home?
20 minutes.
Where do you live?
A little closer to downtown, between South Congress, South Lamar.
All right. You and your girl?
Yep.
How long you been living together?
3 months now.
How long you been together?
2 years.
You gonna pop the question anytime soon? I'm kidding. You don't have to.
That's a great question.
All right, dude. Well, thank you so much. Thank you, viewers, for watching. And when's your next show you're playing? Oh, 16th.
No, I'm going out of town Friday. So I'm doing this run with Shelby Stone.
Okay.
Playing Texas Music Revolution. We're playing the slot before Ray Wiley Hubbard. That's gonna be a lot of fun Saturday. And then we got like 2 club shows in North Carolina, Nashville, and then we got we're opening for this guy Wyatt Flores, country act, in North Carolina and Alabama.
And that's so cool. But when are you playing a show here in Austin?
The 16th.
I'm like, granted, if I had the budget, I would fly out to see you anywhere you go. But you're playing the 16th. Is that your next date here in Austin?
Yeah, Continental Club. Yep.
Okay, cool. What time?
I don't know.
Hopefully it's not. Grayson played a show at 11:30 on a Tuesday night. I'm like, dude, I'll take a nap before, but damn, that's an interesting.
Well, I assume we're playing before him. If I get back in time, I might hop over to the Monday show at Sea Boys.
Oh yeah,
and play a bit.
Okay,
but because Reese will be out of town for that one too.
Got it. All right, dude. Thank you.
Thank you,
viewers. God bless.
See you.